not a cool guy, though. I wish I was cool. I don't have any tattoos. I like when people get tattoos on strange parts of their body, and then they have to do weird stuff to show them off. Like guys who get like forearm tattoos, all of a sudden they're like, I'm sleeves rolled up guy now. You know, people get those shoulder tattoos, they're always wearing tank tops. Ladies who get those lower back tattoos, they're always having sex with a bunch of strangers, you know? You want your ink scene, get it out there. Yeah, she's like, I paid a lot of money for this. He's like, so did I. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fun. But yeah, not a cool guy. Anytime I'm talking to like some young, hip person, I gotta go to Urban Dictionary afterwards to find out what the hell we just said. You know, like I was talking to my nephew the other day. He's like, my math teacher slaps. I'm like, he hits you? What the hell's going on there? He's like, no, he's got the drip. I'm like, he has chlamydia? That's still inappropriate. In a third grade classroom. God damn, you know? Anyone in here freezing their eggs? Nice. Good to have you aboard. What a brilliant business move that was, just monetizing thinking men are trash. Brilliant move, you know? It's kind of crazy to me, too. I don't know. Ladies pressing snooze on your biological clock, as if in the next 5 or 10 years, men are going to get better. Have you not been reading about AI? 10 years, it's just going to be a bunch of dudes in their basement with, like, Siri giving head. I don't know if you see where this is going. It's just going to be a robot being like, oh, you're so strong. Get a man now. And I love talking to women who are freezing their eggs, you know? It's interesting to me, because I'm old enough to remember the old version of freezing your eggs, which was compromising. That's what we used to do back in my day. You didn't turn to science, you lowered your standards, all right? That's how it was, you know? You were in your 20s, you're like, I need a guy with a six-pack and a 401k. And then you turn 37, you're like, he's always drinking a six-pack? Okay, I guess. I gotta fill up the tank somewhere. God damn, you know? Also, women who are freezing their eggs, if you talk to them, they kind of sound like farmers in Iowa. It's like, how's that egg freezing going? A bountiful harvest was yielded last season. We got a fertile crop, yeah. There's still time to hoe. All right. How about Karens? Any Karens here? Another group that no one self-identifies as. I was actually watching SportsCenter the other night, and there's a new hockey team called the Seattle Kraken. I didn't know about this. Yeah, and I just went by on the ticker, and at the bottom, I could have sworn it said the Seattle Karen. And I was like, wow, that is a terrifying mascot. My God, the Seattle Karen. Can you imagine that? If, like, between periods, they're like, please welcome to the ice, the Seattle Karen. Some bitchy white lady comes out. She's like, I like the white ice. The black puck's very suspicious. Someone call the cops. Which, by the way, if you don't know, a kraken is a sea monster, and a Karen is a sea word, so... Yeah, a little wordplay for the glasses, folks. There you go. But I know we're all trying to be good now, but sometimes it's weird, you know, when we do the right thing, like land acknowledgements. Land acknowledgements are very weird to me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's when white people apologize to other white people for something they did to someone who's not in the room. I don't know if you've seen this dynamic. Like, I was at a conference recently, and the lady came out, and she's like, before we begin, I just want to acknowledge this land originally belonged to the Cherokee tribe. You know, and we couldn't be here having this conference today if it wasn't for their incredible custodianship and stewardship of this land and how they took care of it. So I just want to acknowledge that. And I was sitting there being like, wow, I wonder what it would be like to be a Cherokee person in this room right now. I gotta think you'd be like, yeah, are you giving me the land back, or what is this right now? What is this whole kabuki apology? Like, I just want you to know that I know that we, you know, whoopsie. Like, what is that? Like, imagine I stole your Jeep. A few years went by, and then I just drove up to your front door, honked the horn. I was like, I just want to acknowledge what an incredible job you did taking care of this Jeep. You changed the oil, you inflated the tires. I couldn't be driving this Jeep to the beach today if it wasn't for your incredible stewardship. You'd be like, yeah, are you giving me the Jeep back, or what is this? I'd be like, no, it's my Cherokee now. Yeah, we named a Jeep after you too. How do you like that? I'm about to do something I don't want to do, but I have to. Crowd work. That's where we're at with comedy right now. I don't even want to, but the algorithm demands it. I don't know if you realize the pathway to success in comedy right now is me asking this guy what he does for a living and then telling him he's an idiot. This is what people love more than anything online. The algorithm loves it. So I'm just preparing you right now. I don't even want to do it either, but it's going to happen, all right? And it's amazing, actually, because crowd work, it used to be considered sort of like the lowest version of the art form. It was kind of like a hack thing to do, to talk to the crowd, you know? But then the algorithm started, like, you know, making it all go viral. And everyone's like, all right, I'll do that. So it's weird to have your entire art form, like, directed by, like, Mark Zuckerberg and the Chinese government in order to maximize engagement for advertisers. Very bizarre. And also, you would think, like, oh, well, the funny stuff is what goes the most viral. But that's not actually true. What goes the most viral is anything that makes people engage in the comments. You know, if you make a bunch of people fight in the comments about whether something's like racist or sexist or anti-Semitic, that's when something blows up. Which is weird, because I got into comedy to make a room full of people come together in laughter and joy. And now the pathway to success is to make a bunch of people alone in their homes fight with each other and feel rage. Anyway, what do you do for a living? Loser! He's a loser! I play music, la-da-da-da-da. I do the keyboards, da-da-da-da. Music is for suckers. Comedy. Crazy how it works, isn't it? Even comedy clubs are kind of crazy. Like, there's a 2-drink minimum here tonight. You have to drink. It's a weird thing when you go somewhere and people are like, you must drink. And then if you get drunk, we kick you out. We force you to do it, and then if you're effective at doing it, we hate you for it. That is crazy, right? That's like if, you know, people forced Jews to become moneylenders during medieval times because it was considered dirty, and then you got mad at us for becoming good at banking. But yeah, I'm a Jew, but I'm not like a big Jew, you know, I don't wear the hat. And I call it the hat, that's a pretty good sign, right, you know? Like if you bring me to synagogue, it's sort of like bringing me to karaoke. I just know the first 3 words to every prayer, and then I'm just like lip syncing to the rest. I'm just like, Baruch atah Adonai, Hakuna Matata Vietnam, shake it off, you know? Trying to get by, you know? And it's interesting, because I know a couple Jewish women who got nose jobs in the past year, which fascinates me. But I guess it makes sense that Jewish women would like getting nose jobs since every Jewish man is circumcised. Yeah. Regardless of your gender, if you're a Jew, you want a little bit taken off the tip. Just a little bit. Just a little. That joke is very Jewish. I should probably trim it down. You're right, guys. You're right. Yeah. Oh, man. What do they say? The Jews, we control Hollywood. My response to that? You're welcome. Hollywood's one of the best things America's ever done, you know? Also, all we're doing with Hollywood is making Christian people look amazing. Right? We're not making Jewish superhero movies. Right? And some guy once yelled out, how do you know Superman's not Jewish? I'm like, if he was, we'd pronounce it Superman, all right? Right? And be like, Saul Superman, grew up in Kryptonite, lives in Boca, next to the Spider-Mans. His superpower, creative accounting. Yeah. No Jewish superhero movies. There's not like a Jewish Avengers. Who would that even be? Thorberg? Iron Man Shevitz? The Incredible Hulk? He turns green, but just when the check comes. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. There's only one superhero that's Jewish that I could think of, and most people don't even know they're Jewish, and that's Goldilocks. Yeah. Or at least I'm convinced Goldilocks must be Jewish, because she has the superpower that every Jew wishes we could have, which is to be able to break into someone else's house and just complain about everything there. Oh, the ultimate Jewish fantasy, yes. Oh my God. What a fantasy. To be able to break into someone else's house, just climb in through their window, go to their kitchen, taste their soup, and be like, oish, 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 oish. It's much too hot. Why so hot? I'm schwitzing. 1 star, 1 star. Even when Steven Spielberg, a Jew, made a movie about the Holocaust, who's the star of it? Some Catholic German dude, Oskar Schindler, right? We don't even get to be the star of our own Holocaust movie. How crazy is that? It's like if you made a movie about, I don't know, some young black kid who made it out of the ghetto to become a professional athlete, and then the star of it was just Sandra Bullock. That'd be a real blind spot, huh? Did you guys just harmonize a sigh? That was amazing. We bring it back up, you know? Well done. Damn.